Okay, so just to recap is a nice way to explain. Let's just make sure that we remember everything. That's actually not one of my expressions, but something that's really nice that you can use in meetings. So let's recap um, and go through the 10 idioms that we did in our previous podcast, right? We have number 1, on the same page; 2, to get the ball rolling; 3, the ball is in your court; 4, think outside the box; 5, back to the drawing board; 6, to be in the loop; 7, burning the midnight oil; 8, a win-win situation; 9, to raise the bar; and 10, to be in the red. Right. So these are all, idioms that we can use in presentations and meetings and conversations. But let's do a couple more that will help you sound more fluent and more confident. Okay. Number 1 is touch base. To touch base basically means to just check in with someone just to make sure that you and another person are doing the same things, that you are on the same page, that you are connecting how you should be connecting so there's no miscommunication, right? So, for example, you can say, let's touch base tomorrow to review the final details. To touch base. Number 2 is to call the shots. When you call the shots or when someone calls the shots, it means that is the person that makes the decisions. That's the person that's in control. And it's a very nice way to say that this is the head of the project or this person is the head of the department, right? So, for example, in this project, the client is calling all the shots. Or if you want to say, so who is in charge? You could say, well, Anthony calls the shots here, for example. Number 3, game plan. That's quite nice. We use it quite a lot. A game plan it comes from sport, all right? Whenever you go into a competitive sport like football or rugby, any sort of competitive sport, the what are they called? The coach, right, and the coaching team create some sort of methodology or some sort of strategy in order to try and win the game. It's not just play football and let's hope for the best. There are techniques involved and different plays that you have to put together, and that's where it comes from. So a game plan is a strategy or a plan of action. So as an example, you could say, what's the game plan? Or the game plan for today is. Or what is the game plan for launching the new product? Okay. Number 4 is very nice as well. It says by the book, right? Now, when something is by the book, it means it is exactly how it is supposed to be. There are official laws or rules that companies have to abide by. That's quite a nice verb as well. Abide, ABIDE. When you abide by the rules, it means that you have to follow the rules. So sometimes in companies or, in real life, we like to cut corners. We like to, do things under the table a little bit. But a lot of the time we have to do things by the book so that the tax man or the client can see everything is officially correct. Number 5, to be in hot water. To be in hot water is like a pot on the stove, like en una olla, right? Like a frog, for example, is in a hot water. But let's get back into it. So in hot water is just a nice way to say that this person is in trouble, right? So trouble, like he did something incorrect. So he's in hot water with his boss for missing the deadline. To be in hot water. Cut corners. Now, I just mentioned this. So cut corners is the opposite of number 4, which is by the book. To cut corners is to do something cheaply, quickly, maybe not with good quality, products. And sometimes you do it by, instead of, you have a budget of, for example, 20,000 euros, but you would prefer to keep 10,000 euros for yourself. And so you give 10,000 euros to maybe another company that's not as good quality or are not officially the correct company to use. And it's something that's done a lot in construction. right? It's done a lot in franchises. So I would definitely say that those two are connected. So just to make it clear, let me clarify. To cut corners is to do something cheaply or quickly, and often you are sacrificing the quality of something, right? So my example here is we can't cut corners on safety training, right? If you cut corners on safety training, somewhere in the future, someone is going to get hurt. Okay, let's look at number 7. Number 7 says on the back burner. When you put something on the back burner, right? To put something on the back burner, it means let's put a pause. We can't prioritize this right now. We need to focus on something else. So you need to delay or postpone this project to focus on something else. I'm trying to think of where the idiom originally came from, and I actually don't know. So if any of you do know where the idiom originally came from, let me know. My example that I have for you, though, is we have put the hiring process to hire someone, the hiring process, on the back burner until next year, right? You often don't have to clarify what you are prioritizing. You could just say, yeah, we're going to put that on the back burner for now. That's enough. You don't need anything more, okay? Number 8, at the 11th hour. Someone that I know loves to say lastminute.com, and it's I also like that expression. When someone likes to do something, the lastminute.com, it also is the same thing as the 11th hour, to do something at the last possible moment available, right? They don't like to do things in advance. They always wait for the final moment. And the example that I have for you guys today is they delivered the contract at the 11th hour, right? Like 5 minutes before the deadline, for example. Number 9 is something that we use a lot, and it's used socially as well. And that is to move the goalpost. Now, the goalpost is like the portero of football, right? So if you move the goalpost, let's think about this in terms of football. When you are trying to score a goal, you have to analyze how far away the goalposts are and what angle that you can kick the ball, correct? Right. Now, imagine that you had analyzed exactly how and where to kick the ball, and then just before, at the 11th hour, you see what I did there? So just before you were about to kick the ball, somebody moved the goalposts a little bit further and a little bit different angle, all right? Now you can't kick the ball in the same way, and that is to your disadvantage. So basically, it means to change the rules or the expectation of something in an unfair way. It is not just, it is not fair, right? It is not, and it's never to your advantage. So let me give you an example. The client keeps moving the goalposts. They want more and more requirements for the project. Okay, you can't, and this is, I use this in terms of the client because usually at the beginning of a contract, you have X, Y, Z. You need to do this, 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 and this, right? And the client must pay this, 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 and this. So for this amount of work, you get this amount of money, right? But during the process, often what happens is that a client or a company will move the goalposts and they say, well, we want this as well. No. And we want this as well, right? You can't ask for the same price and expect to have more work done for you, right? So they have moved the goalposts. Okay, the final one for us today is number 10, to think on your feet, right? I also like to equate this to football. Think of any sport that you have to run. Cricket, rugby, football, right? These people don't run flat-footed, right? They run, I don't know what it is called in Spanish. There's the part of your foot called the ball of your foot. Let me actually double check this.